We pulling? What's up, it's Jim Fro, and this is our official guide for the Amalgamation Chamber. Huge thank you to our supporters on Patreon. Your support means the world to us, and it's what makes these videos possible. So, the Amalgamation Chamber has two phases. Phase 1 is all about dealing with the two elementals, each with their own unique abilities. Then for Phase 2, they merge into one big elemental, their abilities are combined, and there's a stacking dot that never falls off, basically becoming unhealable if the fight lasts too long. So that's why we suggest Bloodlusting in Phase 2, at least until you overgear the fight. Alright, before pulling, split your raid in half and assign each half to one of the two starting bosses. This is because in Phase 1, you fight two elementals at the same time, and you need to keep them separated because they each constantly pulse a stacking dot debuff on anyone within 50 yards. And you definitely don't want to have both of the dots stacking on you at the same time. Not to mention, on Heroic, they also get a huge damage buff if they're within range of each other. So on pull, keep the bosses over 50 yards away from each other and have each half of the raid go to their assigned elemental to avoid getting both dots. If your dot stacks ever get too high, just run over to the other boss's side and let your stacks fall off. Both bosses have pretty simple mechanics, so let's just run through them real quick. On the Shadow side, there's circles that go around on random players. These players just need to run out of the raid before the circle expires, exploding on anyone inside of the circle and dropping a pool. There's a big shadow swirly thing to run away from because it does raid-wide fall-off damage, and on Heroic there's orbs that spawn in a big circle around the boss that then move towards the boss. On the Fire side, there's fire tornadoes to dodge that get launched in a random direction from the boss. There's a big circle on the ground that needs to be group soaked by that half of the group because it does a ton of split damage. And on Heroic, there's a few little circles on the ground that need to be soaked or else they explode for huge damage on the raid. By the way, there's no taunt swap mechanic in this phase. Also, try to DPS the bosses at the same rate because Phase 2 starts when either boss hits 50% health, where they combine their remaining health and merge into one big boss. So don't be afraid to send some DPS over to the higher health boss if one of them is dying too slowly, because the closer they both are to 50%, the less health you have to burn through in Phase 2. Now in Phase 2, this new boss basically merges the Phase 1 mechanics from both elementals. So now the circles that go around on random players explode on anyone in them and drop pools, then they launch the tornadoes to dodge. The big circle group soak now also spawns a big swirly that you need to run away from. And on Heroic, the little circles that need to be individually soaked also spawn orbs in a circle around them that move towards the soak spot. They're all the same mechanics, just packaged together now. However, there are a couple of new things too. There's a taunt swap combo for the tanks now, so whenever the boss starts casting Wither Invulnerability, the off tank should taunt so they get targeted with the follow-up cast Shadow Flame Burst. The first cast does big physical damage and applies a huge vulnerability to Shadow Flame damage, and the follow-up cast does big Shadow Flame damage in a cone aimed at the tank. By the way, this means that you definitely need to keep the boss aimed away from the raid. The other new thing is that the dot this boss pulses on the raid is permanent because it can't be outranged. This means you really need to burn through this phase as fast as possible because the dot's just going to keep getting harder and harder to heal through. This is why you should probably Bloodlust in Phase 2. And that's pretty much it. Here's a quick recap of the fight for you to review or screenshot for later. Our Patreon supporters get these guides early, so if you're interested in that, check the links below. Peace.